Dominik Szoboszlai's amazing match-winning free kick wasn't the only reason he was awarded man of the match against Arsenal. Filling in at right back, 100% of aerial duels won, 100% of tackles won, 2 out of 3 ground duels won, 5 recoveries, 6 clearances, and a 92 pass completion rate. But why is Dominik Szoboszlai so suited to the right back position? Why is he taken to it against Arsenal and Newcastle like a duck to water? In this video, I'm going to talk about exactly why Dominik Szoboszlai suits the position, why he's so good there, and why, in my opinion, he's slowly becoming Liverpool's most important player. I really do think this guy is undroppable right now. Let's talk everything Dominik Szoboszlai, particularly in the first, game week 2 and 3 against Newcastle and Arsenal. In fact, I'm going to start with this. This is the goal, obviously, the young lad Ngamoa scored. The only bit of play I'm going to show you in the whole video where he's not playing at right back, but it's so important, right? Just look how intelligent Dominik Szoboszlai is. He's the only player in the build-up to not touch the ball, you know that? Every player touched the ball, apart from Szoboszlai, but arguably Dominik Szoboszlai had the most important role to play in this goal. Really great build-up here. Look at Harvey Elliott, by the way, telling the player to go wide. I love that from him. Szoboszlai lurking in this space. He's so good at kind of working out where he needs to be, working out where he can drag players into, and we'll look at that in a second, because look at this. We've got Chiesa there, we've got Salah there. Salah pointing to Chiesa. Everyone plays the part in this. A great turn there. Salah's pointing to Chiesa. He knows where he wants the ball to go. He gets the ball into Salah. Look at Szoboszlai. Look at the number 8. Look at that little look to the left there. It's not the first time we'll see that little look as well. So intelligent. He knows he's not got the ball yet, but he's optimising he's going to get it. He's predicting for when he's going to get it, and he's trying to put himself and his mate here, Ngamoa, in the best possible scenario to go and score from this. He probably knows he's not the one who's going to score from this, right? But he's looked at Ngamoa, he's looked at this number 21, at Livramento, whoever that is, and he's taken him with him. Right? He's made that run there. Instead of going, can I draw on this? I can't I? Instead of maybe making that run there, maybe getting onto a cross that's going to come in, or making that run there, what's the point? Instead, he's taken that run there just to take the 21 away. And it's an amazing dummy. He lets it go through his legs into Ngamoa, and what a finish from the young lad, right? But that's all Szoboszlai, and he's the only player who didn't touch the ball there. In terms of awareness, let's carry on the awareness kind of appraisal, if you like, because defensively as well, this is an attribute he carries into his defensive work. Look at this, up against Anthony Gordon. Look at how many times he checks over his shoulder. He's trying to get into the back line there. They're on the attack. 1, 2, 3, and then he can make the run, and then he can make the block. Amazing. Now, how many times do we talk about, or did we talk about Trent? Yeah, obviously Trent's so good on the ball, but always defensively weak, you've got to say. And that awareness was always a really big issue of Trent's. He went into midfield countless times, certainly for England, right? Didn't particularly work because that defensive awareness, he's so one-dimensional, right, in the way he always wants to impact the game forward. He's not aware of what's behind him, whereas Szoboszlai is, and he looked back 3 times there. That's more than Trent would look back in a game. Genuinely, that was his biggest weakness at Liverpool. He would always lose his man at the back post, always. Countless times we've been there. Countless times we've been defending him because he's our player. To rival fans, let's be real, let's not kid ourselves. We were perhaps making that a bit more complimentary than it should have been at the time, because really poor at the back post. Szoboszlai, absolutely entirely different. How contrasting was his performance? A block there, cross coming in, Szoboszlai getting in front of Anthony Gordon, heads it away. I'm sure you remember that one. I'm sure you remember the crowd right up at the top cheering when Szoboszlai got on this one. Another one, a really poor picture, but he gets on a ball here from Joel Linton, puts it wide. This is so great, right? Look at this, right? We're talking on the ball now. Let's talk on the ball. What a pass that is. Really confident. And Szoboszlai's a player who's always backed his own ability. And at Liverpool, we've got a few players who do that. Harvey Elliott, just gone now, but always confident. Curtis Jones, always confident on the ball. Szoboszlai's no different. He's got that forward, that always ability to go forward, whether it's one of these passes there to Salah, who did it a few times against Arsenal, whether it's one of them into the middle. Look at that. Great pass in there. And then I think we get a shot away actually from that. But this one here, diagonal ball into Salah. It's perfect. This one here, how good's that? A diagonal ball into Wirtz, a great touch from Florian Wirtz, by the way. And in terms of filling a void, yeah, Szoboszlai's great off the ball. Yeah, he's an improvement on Trent physically in terms of the running power, etc. But this is the void that had to be filled. And whilst, we brought Frimpong in, like for Trent as a body to replace the body who's left, Frimpong can't do that. Frimpong wants to impact the game. Let me go back to this one here. Frimpong wants to get round fullbacks, around the winger, He wants to overlap and impact the game high up the pitch. Szoboszlai's very happy to sit there and play it. Frimpong hasn't, maybe he has, but we've not seen it. That switch in his locker, has he got it? I don't think so. I've not particularly seen it from even the young lad Connor Bradley. Like, Bradley's so good at other things. He's so good at inverting and overlapping. But playing in this role here, playing a bit deeper and impacting the game from deeper in the pitch, Trent was so good at that. And Szoboszlai is that guy who's coming to kind of fill that void in the team. We've struggled at times with... I love Konate here, ducking so I don't get in the head with the ball. We've struggled at times, I think, with a bit of an ignition from the back, right? Where's that ball coming from? Who's playing that ball? It's always been Van Dijk. Van Dijk's always that one who's playing them dives. We saw it in pre-season. We played that side in Japan, and he was doing it all the time, Van Dijk, and it was quite nerve-wracking, right? It was a really, on paper, worse side than us, and we were struggling to break them down. All of our big chances were coming from Van Dijk playing to Gakpo or Salah, or whoever the wingers were in that game. Was it Frimpong? And then Guehi. I really wanted Guehi for this reason. He's so good at them passes, right? And Szoboszlai fills that void. I think it's a great asset to have in this team, especially against Arsenal, when you've got to have more than one way of breaking them down, right? I love let's crack a bit like that. Getting down like this. Anyway, a great touch from Wirtz, by the way. I mean, look at this. Look at the pass. That's that pass we've just spoken about there. That one there. Can I delete that? I can't. That looks messy now. Yeah, he's making... I mean, it's a very small sample size, only 2 games playing at right back, but he's averaging more passes per game. He's averaging like 20 more touches a game than previously, per 90, 92% accuracy. It's not like he's just playing pot shots, pot passes and trying to make stuff happen. I think Trent was definitely a culprit of that, maybe trying the Hollywood pass too much, trying to impact the game too much. Arne Slot was very vocal about refraining Trent from doing that. The first thing, honestly one of the first noticeable differences between the Klopp side, the last one, and the Slot side, the new one, was Trent's role. Like, he was much more refrained, wasn't he? He was, I think Slot spoke about, he would rather 2 or 3 passes to get to point B and definitely get there, as opposed to 1 pass from Trent to get to point B and maybe lose it. Which is very fair, right? And Szoboszlai, look at that 92% accuracy, up there with a Curtis Jones, up there with a Shuma Van Dijk and a McAllister. Like, these numbers are so great. Let's talk about defensively again. I mean, he's got so many strings to his bow. I believe more strings to his bow than a Frimpong at right back, and maybe even a Bradley at right back. I do think Bradley's actually, for me, a more complete right back than Frimpong. I'm happy to be proven wrong. I'm happy to back Bradley. I really do. I really like what I was seeing last year. But Szoboszlai there, intercepting the play. Obviously, Gravenberch, he's so good at that, right? But in this role here, when Gravenberch does step up, and we'll talk about that Szoboszlai positioning, because it's so key. Immediately I'm thinking of the Bournemouth game. We'll talk on it later, because when it all breaks down, who's there? Szoboszlai's there, right? We'll talk about it in a minute. But intercepting the play, he can do that. Strong, in the duel, up against the forward, using his body, using his physicality, using his frame, wins the ball. 1v1 against the player who, by the way, this guy has had some real success against us in the last few years. Martinelli, I think, is pretty average. I mean, I loved Martinelli like 3 years ago. I loved everything he was about. He was a proper menace. He was a workhorse. Like, he was so potent, so direct, always trying to get a shot off. But then, like, recently, he's been pretty average and pretty scared, pretty timid going backwards. But against Liverpool, he was always playing well up against Trent, right? And Szoboszlai didn't let that happen. Szoboszlai, look at that, strong, wins the ball. Martinelli, head down, that shit, I've lost the ball. Got to win it back. Szoboszlai, so great defensively, great in the air, in the duel, great here, pushing his man wide, great here, composure. He won the ball off Gyökeres. He does a little, like, it's not a back, it's like a cut-back thing. I'm sure you remember it well. It's a little cut-back into the midfield player. We win the ball there. Here, again, Szoboszlai. I mean, this is so good, by the way. Watch Van Dijk and watch Szoboszlai. Van Dijk's there, Szoboszlai's on here, by the way. This is for... Do you remember when Ekatike had that shot or scored and it was offside? And Wirtz had that really nice touch. This was the build-up to that. Hold on, sorry, my OBS has come in the way. This was the build-up to that. Look at this, Szoboszlai. Bit more forward than, I think Szoboszlai's been here quite a lot in this game. He's getting forward, he can do that, he can come into midfield. Szoboszlai's gone. He's making this run now. My OBS can play. Right there. Van Dijk, you know what Van Dijk can do. We spoke about it before. That diagonal. What a great example of this. Bang, Van Dijk's played it. Szoboszlai into the middle. Szoboszlai's our furthest player at the pitch now. He's intelligent enough to make them runs, and he backs his own ability to make the runs. He also backs his own physical ability in terms of, if we lose it, can I get back? Szoboszlai can get back, and we'll show you in a minute. But he makes this run here, creates loads of space. I actually don't think they expected. Look at that, like, bursting back. Why the fuck's he there? Why Szoboszlai up front there? They did not expect that, in my opinion. And then, listen, we get a shot away. Wirtz has a great touch, and Ekatike scores, it's offside. That all comes from Szoboszlai, adding a +1, giving a numerical advantage in the attack. This, again, I mean, we talk about work rate, we talk about work ethic. Szoboszlai, I mean, granted, I took this from Twitter, it's a really bad picture, and I believe, looking at that graphic, that font, I mean, this might be inside, is that Match of the Day? I've watched enough Match of the Day in my life to know. I never watched Liverpool games, to be fair, because I've obviously seen them. but maybe this is from match of the day. 100 yards forward, 100 yards back, straight away. Do you know what I mean? Like, this guy is the biggest runner in our team. I assume he wins all the Cooper runs, all the whatever bleep test, whatever you want to call it, right? And then this first out. This is actually for Bruno's goal, by the way. I do believe Szoboszlai did everything right here when a lot of players weren't. Certainly Milos Kerkez at the back post. Szoboszlai first out to the ball. Can I get out first? Another one straight away. Another corner. Alisson punches wide. Szoboszlai first out to the ball. That work rate, always wanting to get there, right? I think actually this is one of the biggest points we can take from the video. And it's actually nothing particularly big. And it's nothing really that we found out against Newcastle or Arsenal, but I just want to bring your attention to the Bournemouth game, and I should have got a screenshot really. Think of Semenyo's goal. It might actually be Szoboszlai who loses the ball, ironically, when he's playing in midfield. It's like here. We lose the ball here against Bournemouth. We've got one midfielder there, two midfielders there, three there. Bournemouth are like 2v2. 2v like a back three here, and they go and score. Semenyo just literally runs the whole length of the pitch because there is no midfield player there. I realised I've ruined the screen. It doesn't matter. There's no midfield player holding. Look at Szoboszlai. Firstly, he's asking for the ball again. He wants this ball. I mean, probably the right decision not to pass it, given that Gravenberch went and whipped this one in. But he wants the ball always shown for it, right? But it's more the position of where he's taken up. Let me make that a bit bigger there. So imagine we had Frimpong. Frimpong would be there, wouldn't he? Bradley would be there in pre-season, all pre-season. We're playing a 3-2-5. With Szoboszlai, it's more of a 3-3-4. It's not a 3-2-5. You've not got a front five. You've not got too many players on this final line. Therefore, if it all breaks down, you've now got one more body back. And Szoboszlai, if he won the ball there, right? Which, to be fair, I don't know how he didn't, because it was a deflection. I think it wasn't a deflection, but it was like it went through such a tight passage of play that it was easy to. I'm surprised it wasn't intercepted. Basically, there's so many bodies that shot went through. If they won the ball. Oh, where's my pen gone? My pen. Oh my, guys. Pen. There we go. If they got the ball back, so I've not really much worry about Szoboszlai not winning that ball there. I just think in the duel he's so good. Even if he doesn't win it, right? He's a body, which then they have to go around, which then slows their play down, which then means we can get players back. Against Bournemouth, we had none of that. There was literally just two players just running, Van Dijk and Konate. Having a player more reserved, more conservative there, a right-back tucking into midfield as opposed to a right-back getting forward like Frimpong or Bradley would, it offers a lot, in my opinion, certainly against Newcastle and Arsenal, who can beat you very well on the break, and Bournemouth, in my opinion, that was the biggest weakness in that game. We should have had a player tucking into midfield, and that's a really interesting point that Szoboszlai offers for us. Listen, there's my presentation, guys. I've really enjoyed that, because I love this player. I love everything he stands for. I would love you to like the video. If you enjoyed this video, if you gained anything from it, any kind of value, agreed with anything I said, please do leave a like. It's entirely free. It goes a long way. It tells YouTube I'm doing something right. And if you can, it'd be very cheeky of me to ask this, please could you subscribe to the channel? We're very close to 20,000 subscribers daily. Liverpool videos and live streams over on here and on TikTok as well. Nice one, guys. Have a good day. Let me know your thoughts on Szoboszlai in the comments. Bye-bye.